In Klois is the Aguna, im noch gelaufen. In the shul, the Aguna had run after him, after David Zarechu. In Gas is the im noch gelaufen. In the street, she had run after him. Und sich gebeten bei ihm, and she had begged him, as al charata haben auf sein Heter, that he should have second thoughts about his permission. Und rat von sich, sein Weib, seine Kinder, and to save himself and his wife and his children. Und hat sie noch chesed gewähnt, but still he was suspicious of her, as der Markhändler read in ihr Namen. It's actually the Cyrulnik, the mark merchant, who was speaking in her name. As das hat sie ihm untergeschickt. Soll fordern, mevatel sein, ihr Chasene mit Kalman Metis. That it was he who had, that she had sent him to demand that the rabbi nullify her her marriage with Kalman Metis. Reb Levi Horwitz hat mir einmal gesagt, als zu was ich rühre sich zu, mach ich Onsaris. Reb Levi Horwitz once told me that whatever I touch turns into mud. I make problems. Is gerecht, Reb Levi gerecht. And he's quite right, Reb Levi. Quite right. Hat Reb David gemurmelt zu sich. That's what Reb David muttered to himself. Und der Herr hat a seidestik zitterdik call. And he heard a secret and trembling voice, wie ben Minen, wollt geschäptschet zwischen Besäulen Beimer, as if a corpse were whispering among the trees in the cemetery. Rabbi. Reb David hat sich umgeguckt. Reb David looked around. Leben im is gestanden a Yid. Near him was standing a fellow, eingewickelt in a zerknetschten Mantel, wrapped in a wrinkled jacket, wie in a koldre, as if it were in a blanket, und sich geträselt von Kält and Schreck. And the fellow was trembling from cold and fear. Der kennt mich nicht, Rebbe. You don't recognize me, Rebbe. Ich bin Kalman. I'm Kalman. Kalman Metis. Der Näterins man, the husband of the seamstress. Der Agunas man, the husband of the Aguna. Sein Eusen hat sich azoi gebitten. His appearance had changed so, as is nicht leicht gewesen, ihm zu erkennen, that it was not easy to recognize him. Seine Augen ständig groß und keilig dick, his eyes always large and round, seinen Itzt gewesen halb vermacht, were now half closed, von Verwehntkeit und nicht erschlafen, from having cried a lot and from not having slept much. Die Plaitzes geheikert, his shoulders were bent over, das Panim gelblich weiß, his face yellowy white, wie a Stück Teig, like a piece of dough. Die Nose bläu von Frost, his nose blue from the frost, und sein Call hat nicht gekannt herauskriegen von Kalt, and his voice could not crawl out of his throat, wie a Räuch von an engen Keumen, just like smoke trying to get out of a narrow chimney. Hat gemacht a Trott nenter zu Reb David. He made one step closer to Reb David und is gleich zurückgetreten nach hinter and immediately stepped backward. Wie ein übergeschrocken, hungrig Vögele, like a terrified, hungry bird, besemet zerwarft a Stückel Breit, when someone is throwing it a piece of bread. Kalman hat Reb David erzählt, wie man hat ihm herausgetrieben vom Besmedresh. Kalman recounted to Reb David how they had thrown him out of the study hall, weil hat sich zerscheit mit dem Weib, because he had separated from his wife, und is gewinn untertänig dem Gabezalje, and that he had become uh, 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 untertänig, subservient to the Gabai Zalje. Bis spät in Ovent hat herumgeblunket. Up till late in the night, he had wandered about in die Gesslich, in the streets, und sich zugehört dem Red wegen der Agune, and he listened to the way people were speaking about the Aguna. Hat behalten das Panim, he hid his face, misolem nit erkennen, so that they would not recognize him. Und erst halber Nacht, and only at midnight, is rein in a klois auf den Schulhof. He came into a study hall in the courtyard of the main synagogue, Ibernachtiken zwischen Armeleit, to spend the night among the poor folks. In their free morning, noch eder de Balabatim haben sich genommen Kleiden zum ersten Minyan, even before the householders had begun to collect for the first minyan, the first prayer service, is entlaufen von Kleis. He ran out of the study hall und sich wieder herumgedreht in die Gesslich. And again, he wandered about in the streets. Hat gesehen, wie die Stadt kleidet sich zu sein Weibs Levaya. He saw how the city was getting ready for his wife's funeral. Und gehört, wie man schilt him, and he heard how people were cursing him, weil had sie verlassen, because he had deserted her. Die Jiden und die Jidenes haben zwischen sich gerät. The men and the women were speaking among themselves. Also ob wird sich beweisen auf der Levaya, that if he should show his face at the funeral, that man ihm verstehen, they would stone him. Is entlaufen aher auf Besäulem. So he ran over here to the cemetery. There's a clutch von behaltenisch kennen zugucken die Kvura, that at least from a hiding place, he would be able to observe the burial. Reingehen into Horrestub, sich anwarmen, schreckt sich. He is afraid to go into the room where they do the tahara, the preparation of the body. He was afraid to go in to warm himself up. Weil die Kabronim kennen him, because the burial folk know him. Is doch da gewinn a Feldchasen, because after all, he had been there, the cemetery chasen. Wollen sie später erzählen die Levaya Bagleiter. And later, they would tell the people accompanying the funeral, as gefindt sich auf dem Besäulem, that he is there in the cemetery. Is gestanden zwischen die Bäume und gefroren. So he stood among the trees and froze, bis hat sehen ankommen die Levaya von Reben Zingele, until he noticed that the funeral of the rabbi's little boy had arrived. Rebbe, ich bin nicht schuldig in Tod von euer Kind. Rabbi, I'm not responsible for your child's death. Und in Tod von mein Weib bin ich euch nicht schuldig. And in the death of my wife, I'm also not responsible. Auf der Birge haben mir die Maljares nicht zugelassen suchen Arbeit. At the work exchange, the house painters did not allow me to come to look for work. Und Merel hat mich herausgetrieben. Ich soll gehen für euch, sich annehmen. And Merel, that's the Aguna, had driven me out to tell that I should go sich annehmen, that I should take your part. That I think that's what it means. Sich annehmen für euch. Yeah, that I should support you. Tresel sich Kalman von Gewein. Kalman was shaking with tears. For mir? Stammelt Reb David. For me? Reb David stammers. Ja, für euch. Yes, for you. Wenn der Gaber hat euch nicht gewollt verrechnen zum Minion. When Salia, the Gaber, wasn't going to count you in the minion, hat Merel mich herausgetrieben. Merel pushed me out. Ich soll gehen aufrudern die Stadt to um, uh, uh, bring the city in arms, to, uh, to cause a commotion in the city. Nor, wer bin ich? Und was bin ich? But who am I? What am I? Me soll sich zu mir zu hören, that anyone would pay attention to me. Und Kalman erzählt, wie viel ist euch gestanden. And Kalman explained how much he had suffered, bis ist geworden unter Shamus in Zaretscher Kleis, until he became the secondary Shamus in the Zaretscher study hall. Weil hat nicht gehad, wo zu schlafen, because he didn't have a place to sleep. It's werfen alle die Schuld auf him. Now everyone is putting the blame on him. Und auf den Rav von Shlomo Kissensheif, and also on Reb Levi Hurwitz, the rabbi of Shlomo Kissens Yard. Muss sich ausbehalten. He has to hide himself. Me soll mit ihm nicht tun dasselbe, was man rechnen tun mit Rav von Shlomo Kissensheif. That they shouldn't do to him the same thing that they are planning to do with the rabbi of Shlomo Kissens Yard. Was wollen sie tun mit dem Rav von Shlomo Kissensheif? What do they want to do with the rabbi of Shlomo Kissensheif? Sie schreien, als sie wollen die Levaya führen vorbei sein Stub. They're screaming that they are going to bring the funeral past his house und ihm mämesen and beat him up. Sie schreien, als allein hat ihm angerufen Rotzeach. They're shouting that you yourself called him murderer, weil hat euch gestrascht, als wird nicht losen mekaber sein, euer Kind, because he had threatened you that he would not allow you to bury your child. Das ist a Ligen. Now that's a lie. Rabbi Levi hat es nicht gesagt. That's not what Rabbi Levi said. Fehlt Reb David, wie der ganze Frost von Besalem is rein in sein Herz. Reb David feels like the entire frost of the cemetery has entered his heart und es abgestellt and has caused it to stop. Ich weiß nicht, sagt Kalman, a gleichgültig verjeischter. I don't know, says Kalman, verjeischt, without hope. And gleichgültig means with indifference and without hope. Sie schreien, als hat ihm geheißen Hargenen. They're saying that you ordered that he be murdered. Ein Augenblick steht noch Reb David mit halb vermachte Augen. For the blink of an eye, Reb David stands with his eyes half closed und tracht, and he's thinking, wie gut wollte es gewesen, wenn kann jetzt einschlafen. How great it would be if he could only go to sleep. Mit einmal geht a zappeluf. Suddenly, he shakes himself awake und geht hastig herein in der lange hölzerne Stube. And hastily he goes into the long wooden house. This is the Tahora house. Die Feldchazonim sitzen auf die Bank und rammeln. The cemetery chazonim are sitting on the chairs and they're dozing. Warten bis wird dann kommen die große Levaya, waiting until the big funeral will arrive. Und der Oilem Bagleiter wird beten machen Haskaras. And the people accompanying the funeral will ask that they make prayers in memory of the departed. The Altitschke Tachrichem Neerkes, the little old sewers of burial shrouds, mit die ausgetrickente, geodderte Hand, with their dried up hands full of veins, haben auf Gich aufgeschobet die Kleider waren Rev's Eufele. They quickly, now what is aufgeschobet? They sewed, they basted quickly the burial clothes of the rabbi's little boy, und sie schmusen zwischen sich, gemütlich, and they're pleasantly chatting among themselves, wegen ausgegebene Einiglich, about grandchildren that they have married off. Die Rebbetzin Edel sitzt auf der Bank gegenüber dem Tisch. The Rebbe's wife, Edel, is sitting on a chair facing the table, guckt mit aufgerissene Augen auf ihr motteles ewige Kleider, and she looks with eyes aufgerissen, well, I'm going to say full of tears, at the eternal clothing of her little mottele. Und tullet sie sich Yosefan, and she cradles in her hands her older son Yosef. Reb David kommt rein, a Teutbleicher. Reb David comes in, deadly pale. Ich muss die Minute gehen in Stadt, Ratven Reb Levi Horowitzen. This very minute, I've got to run into the city to save Reb Levi Horowitz. Der Haman sagt, as ich hab geheißen Hargenen. The crowd is saying that I asked that they murder him. Moshe, your turn.
I'm unmuted. Die Rebbetzin guckt auf den Mann mit einem vertempten Blick. The rabbi's wife looks at her husband with a dulled look. Kann sich nicht herausreißen von ihrer avlustige Machshovas, can't pull herself out of her mourning thoughts. Und versteht nicht gut, was redet zu ihr. And she doesn't really understand well what he says to her. Nor Joseph vergeht gleich in a Gewein, but Joseph starts crying right away. Tata, geh nicht weg. Dad, don't go away. Schweig, quiet. Geht Rab David a kritz mit die Zehen. Rab David grits his teeth. Und Joseph bleibt auf haar zitterte. And Joseph remains, and little Joseph remains tremulous. Edel, ich habe in mein Leben ungemacht genug Zorres. Edel, I have in my lifetime caused enough problems. Ja. Ich habe gemeint, das Beste, I meant for the best. Wenn rausgekommen ist das Ärgste, and only the worst was the result. Will ich nicht sein, die Sibbe für noch ein Unglück. So I don't want to be the reason for another misfortune. Sie wollen Rab Levin meemissen und sagen, als ich habe geheißen, they will kill Rabbi Levi and they will say that I ordered it. Ich gehe, I'm going. Wo gehst du? Where are you going to? Stellt sich die Rebbetzin auf und ihr Steunung geht über in Kas und Heuchpachad. So the Rebbetzin stands up and her surprise goes over into anger and also fear. Baron Rav, was hat uns unglücklich gemacht, gehst du einstellen das Leben? Are you going to put your life at risk for the rabbi who caused our misfortune? Zij willen euch dich der Hargenen. They will also kill you. Mich willen zij niet onrühren. They won't touch me. When ich gehe sich einstellen voor dir, and I'm going to put myself at risk for you, for Josephine, for little Joseph, and for zich and for myself, and for myself as well. Nog meer wie voor Rab Levin, even more for than I will put myself at risk for Rab Levi. Rab David dreht sich aus zu die Feldchazonim und Zacchaeus. Rab David turns around to the field cantors and to the old women, was gucken sich zu verkiddigte, were looking surprised, wie der Rob und die Rebbetzin kriegen sich auf dem Beis Oilem, how the rabbi and his wife are arguing in the cemetery. Jeden, ich läufe in Stadt ratteben nach Menschen. Jews, I'm hurrying to the town to save a person. Die Cura von mein Kind wird müssen vorkommen on mir. The burial of my child will have to happen without me. Ich bete euch, I beg of you, seid mir cover mein Kind und führt op die Rebbets nach heim. Bury my child and escort my wife back home. Los sie nicht allein. Don't leave her alone. Läuft heraus in draußen und nimmt Schreien über den pusten, windigen Feld. He runs outside and starts crying over the vacant, windy field. Reb Kalman, wo seid ihr? Reb Kalman. Reb Kalman, where are you, Reb Kalman? Tata, Tata, jogt ihm noch, Josephel. Daddy, Daddy, Josephel runs after his dad. Geh zurück zu der Mama. Go back to your mother. Wart sich auf ihm, der Tata mit aufgehobenen Fäusten. The father turns to him with raised fists. Joseph läuft zurück, ruft auf die Treppe und fällt auf der Mama. Joseph runs back he runs back up the steps and falls to his mother, was his euch heraus in Dreußen, who also came outside. Dein Kind ist noch nicht begraben und du läufst zu der Levaya von der AGUNE. Oh, your child is not buried yet and you're running to the burial of the AGUNE. The AGUNE zit sorry, I can't see it. The AGUNE zit dich, euch Teuterheit. The AGUNE is still attracting you, even though she's dead. Edel, ich swear dich, als ich lauf, Rathavan Rab Levin. Edel, I swear to you that I am running to save Rab Levi. They will begin a retzicha in my nomen. They will commit a murder in my name. Schreit Rab David mit a verzweifelt call. Rabbi David shouts with a despairing voice, und los sich weg zum Teuer, and heads to the gate. Wo seid ihr, Rab Kalman? Where are you, Rab Kalman? Kalman is calling him. Hilt op, a wiedercall. Oh, an echo comes back. When in alle Winkler, when verschneiten bei Solem, and an echo returns from all the corners of the snowed up cemetery. Wie euch die Mesim von unter der Erde wollten Rab David geholfen schreien, as if the dead underground are also wishing to help Rab David's cry. Als Rab David ist allein in der Stube, wo sitzen die Feldmenschen. When Rab David came into the house where the field people were sitting, hat Kalman sich zurückgezogen zwischen die verschneite Klorim. Oh, okay. Kalman withdrew between the snowed up graves. Aber wenn Rab David hat sich gelost laufen zum Teuer und ihm rufen, but when Rab David started running to the gate and calling him, und euch kommen sich gelost laufen zwischen die Batsevas. Coleman also started running between the graves. Die Feldheden by der Stub sollen ihm nicht zijn, so that the Feldheden or the burial people in the house should not see him. When erst beim Reusgang von der Säulem wächst der Reus an gegen Reb Dovid, and he only appears and stands up, rose up in front of Reb Dovid once they're out of the exit from the cemetery. Wat ben ich, Rabbi? Was hat getroffen? Here I am, Rabbi. What has happened? Either der Rabbi weist him noch zu entern, before the Rabbi even could answer him, der hört sich wieder, there was again heard, von der Weiten der Rebbitzins geschrei. The rabbi's wife's cry could still be heard. Gedenk David, remember David, gedenk David on mein schwach hart. Remember David about my weak heart. Mein Hart wird platzen und du wirst haben ad Richter dabei. My heart will burst and you will have a third funeral. Rab David macht aber Bewegung zurückzuläufen. Rab David made a move to run back, nor hat gleich Charota, but right away had regret. Get Kalman a chapan arm, grabs Kalman by the arm and schleppt him raus from Beis Olam and drags him out of the cemetery. Before Azager is the Levaya, what time is the funeral? Zij hebben gezegd als 3 They said 3 o'clock. You get up to Levaya, you're coming to the funeral. Ich hab Moira, I'm frightened. Reist Kalman aus sein Ohren und nimmt sich zurückziehen. I am frightened. And Coleman is the one who's frightened. Coleman pulls his arm out and moves back. Zij hebben gezegd dat zij willen mich verstehen, and they said they will stone me, so he's frightened. Zij willen eigenlijk niet onrieren. They will not touch you. Schleppt ihm Reb Dovid heraus by their hand. So Reb Dovid drags him out again by the hand. Auf dem Weg zwischen die waldige Berglach, between the wooded hills, was führen zum Zarecher Mark, between the wooded hills that go toward the Zarecher market. Zij willen euch niet onderieren when euch niet Rab Levin. They won't touch you and they won't touch Rab Levi. Seiden zij willen euch mich derhalben, unless they also kill me. When die waldige Berglach rijst zich op haar wind, a wind blows out of the wooded hills und warft sich auf beiden mit haar Gefäu und Sticker, kleppigen Schnee, and throws itself on them with a howl and with pieces of sticky snow. Rab David chapt sich on mit beide Hand by der Hut. Rab David grabs his hat with both hands und rangelt sich mit dem Wind and wrestles with the wind, was blost him in him that's blowing in his face. Will ihm zurückscheußen zu seinem Spruch auf den Beis Olam. They are trying to push him back to his family in the cemetery. Dreiersäger, 3 o'clock, sagt ihr, you say, is die Levaya, is the funeral. When people in is Itzter, and what's the time now? Itzter darf Mr. sein around 2. Must be around 2 o'clock now. Noch 2, after 2, stellt sich Rab David op, warten, is common with him on Yogan. So Rab David stops and waits till Kalman will catch up to him and sit a while up them bottom, and in the meantime he catches his breath. Good God, wir sollen nur nicht verspätigen. God help us, let us not be late. Had geld by zich, Reb Kalman. Do you have any money with you, Reb Kalman? Wir wollen dingen naar Droschke. We will hire a droshki. Beim Zarecher Markt stehen oftmals droshkes. There are often droshkis at the Zarecher market. Maybe I should stop there and give someone else a chance.
I'll pick up again then.
Oh, is there no one else? It's just the two of us?
Apparently.
Oh, God. Sorry.
It's fine. So I'll go for a while and then it's your turn again.
Okay.
Ich hab nicht kein Geld, Rebbe. Ich hab nicht. No, I've got no money, Rebbe. Not at all. Wenn ich wollte gehabt Geld, wollte ich geschlafen in einer Achsanie. If I had any money, I would have slept in an inn, nicht in a klois, auf ein Schulhof, not in a prayer house at the in the courtyard of the main synagogue. Suppet Kalman, Kalman pants. Schuckelt sich umgelumpert, clumsily shakes himself, stellt die Fists in der Breit. He puts his feet wide apart und halt euch die Hand ausgespreht in der Breit. And he's holding his hands also spread out wide. Wie wollt gewinnen am mischunedicke Wald Bashefanish, as if he were some sort of strange wood creature of the forest. Halb Mensch and halb Chaya, half person, half animal. Was klettert auf Bämerspitzen, that climbs on the tops of trees. Ich hab schon nicht kein Kajach zu laufen. I have no more strength to run. Kommt. Come on. Schleppt him mit, Reb David. Reb David pulls him along. Wird sich mehr nicht dürfen walgeren auf den Schulhof. You'll no longer need to stick around in the synagogue courtyard. Wird wohnen in ihr Stiebel. You'll be able to live in her house, in ihr Weibsstiebel, in your wife's room. Ihr seid doch ihr Mann. After all, you are her husband. Muss dir sein auf ihre Levaya. You've got to be at her funeral. Sagen Kaddish auf ihr Kever. You've got to recite Kaddish at her grave. Ich hab meure Rebbe, but I'm afraid, Rabbi. As sie wollen mir nicht losen kein Kaddish sagen auf ihr Kever. I'm afraid that they won't let me recite any Kaddish at her grave. Und wo wird man sie behalten? And where are they going to bury her? Man sagt, als die Rabbonim haben geheißen, sie legen beim Parkan. They're saying that the rabbis have required to put her next to the fence, weil sie hat sich genommen das Leben, because she killed herself. Man wird sie nicht legen beim Parkan, Reb Kalman. They're not going to bury her under the fence, Reb Kalman. A Mensch, was hat sich genommen das Leben, a person who has killed himself, weil man hat ihm gejagt und gepluckt, because they have chased him and tortured him. As a Menschen tormen nicht mevase sein. Noch ein Teil. Such a person you should not embarrass after death. Die Rabbonim haben nicht geheißen, sie legen beim Parkan. The rabbis have not required that she be buried next to the fence. Das kann nicht sein. It cannot be. Das haben ausgetracht Sonnen. It must be enemies who've thought that up. K'day noch mehr aufzureizen dem Haman. Even more to stir up the crowd. Aufzureizen. Yeah. Reb David is showing on Kayach when mitschleppen Kalmanen. Reb David already is out of strength with his dragging along Kalman und von Gerangel mit dem Wind and his fighting against the wind. was schmeißt him in panim, which is smiting him in the face, in the Rücken, in his back, verplontert seine Fies, making his feet lose their footing, und blost on sein langen schwarzen Eberbeged, and is blowing against his long black overcoat. Sie kommen on at Polotsker Gas. They arrive at the Polotsker Street. Und Rab David bleibt mit einmal stehen at Zwakelter. And Rab David stands for a bit, stopping, um, rocking back and forth, guckt aruf zu die Fenster von sein Dira, and he looks up at the windows of his apartment. Motala, motala, shepchet er. Little mottel, he whispers. Und mont sich, wie pflegt sich Jorgen heim on Kormen sein Jüngele. And he remembers how he used to rush home to feed his little boy. Motala, motala, murmelt abagossener mit Schweiß. Motala, motala, he murmurs, drenched in sweat. Und mont sich, and he remembers, als wird vielen nicht sagen kein Kaddish auf den Kever von sein Efele. And he remembers that he won't even be saying any Kaddish at the grave of his little boy. Nor bald geht wieder Rachab Kalmanen by der Hand. But soon he again grabs Kalman's hand and schleppt him voraus and drags him forward. Aber Kalman hat sich verguckt auf den Rebben. But Kalman was looking at the rabbi. Wenn sie kommen mit etliche Häuser weiter, when they come a few houses further up Polotsker Gas, on the Polotska Street, zum Stiebel von Merel, der Nähterin, to the house of Merel, the seamstress, geht sich Kalman a Bruch ein und chabt sich an mit beide Hand beim Kopf. Kalman groans and grabs his head with both hands. An Oitzer, she was a treasure. Ich hab gehabt an Oitzer. I had a treasure, und ihm nicht abgeschätzt, but I didn't give it full respect. I didn't treasure it enough. Sie hat mich hereingenommen in Stub und Essen gegeben. She took me into her house. She gave me food. Dem Geleger gemacht. She made my bed. Und von mir hat verlangt, soll gehen verdienen, and never asked me to go and earn money. Hab ich geglebt, was der Fiskal Moshe Cyrulnik hat erzählt. And then I had to go and believe what this fiscal, what's a fiscal? I don't know what a fiscal is. Let's say, it's a pejorative term. Moshe Cyrulnik. I had to go and believe what he told me. Bin ich Tage nicht wert, mir soll mich zu lassen zu der Levaya. I am certainly unworthy to be allowed to the funeral. Kommt, Reb Kalman, kommt. Ihr seid nicht schuldig. Come on, Reb Kalman, come. It's not your fault. Mintertim, Reb David. Reb David gives him comfort. Und halt sich kaum allein auf die Fies, and is himself barely able to stand. Nicht ihr seid schuldig, und nicht Reb Levi is schuldig. Neither are you at fault, nor is Reb Levi. Ich will sie sagen, wer ist schuldig. I'm going to tell them who is in fact guilty. Sie topchen in tiefen Schnee. They drag themselves through the deep snow, halten unter eine die andere, nicht zu fallen. Each one holding the other so as not to fall. Und lassen sich herunter von Zaretscher Berg in Stadt rein. And they make their way down from the Zaretscher Hill down into the city. Next chapter, Dam Sonim, blood enemies. Taiv maisi mechayai, murmured Reb Levi. My death is better than my life, Reb Levi mutters. Since Reb Asher Anshel is weg, sitzt mit vermachte Augen. Since his brother-in-law Asher Anshel has departed, he was sitting with his eyes closed, und in seinen Mäulwinkeln unter die Gedichte Wonses knecht sich a beser Schmeichel, and an angry smile uh, uh, wrinkles under his in the corners of his mouth and under his thick mustache. Der Polotsker Dayen, dacht is in sein verrissener Anives groß bei sich. The Polotsker Dayen, he's thinking, in his um, uh, humility, his verrissener,
He's proud.
yeah, his proud humility. That's an
He's
interesting
not
expression.
really he's not really humble about it.
Yeah, in
No,
his okay, in his it,
exaggerated,
yeah,
exaggerated.
yeah, his exaggerated humility. Groß bei sich. He's actually considering himself to be uh, uh, high and mighty. Was can beistehen negishus, that he can manage. Now, negishus, what is negishus?
Persecution.
Yeah, discrimination, oppression, persecution. Yeah. Is mola simcha, was can beweisen. He, that's referring, this is Reb Levi thinking about Reb David. He is full of joy that he can display as nitkem moira faradifis, that he has no fear of being persecuted. Aber Reb Levi Horowitz, hat euch nitkem moira. But he himself, Reb Levi Horowitz, is also not afraid, faradifis, of persecution. Afil farantoit, even afraid of death. Hat kein moira nit. He is. He even has no fear of death. Reb Levi horcht wie rumim räuscht a versäudete Stillkeit. Reb Levi listens that how around him a secretive silence is rustling, was verheudet sich bislichweis, which is slowly getting louder. Bis in die Euren nimmt im Stechen a scharnisch und hunderter Tritt, until in his eyes begins to stick um, the tread of hundreds of footfalls. A sopenish von a großen Eulam, the panting of an enormous crowd, was kricht bargaruf in Gessel, that is crawling up the hill in the street. Öffnet die Augen. He opens his eyes. Und sein Blick stellt sich ab auf ein Fenster von sein Vorderstub. And his glance stops at the window of his front room. Was guckt raus in Shlomo Kissen's Haif, that looks out towards Shlomo Kissen's yard. Von Pustenhaif, der tragt sich nicht kein Klang. From this empty courtyard, there's no sound coming. Reb Levi stellt sich und öffnet die Tür in zweiten Cheder. Reb Levi stands up and opens the door to the second room. Dort, wo es pflegt sitzen sein Cyrilla. There, where his daughter Cyrilla used to reside. Eder man hat sie wieder abgeführt in Spital, until they brought her again to the hospital. Von Gessel, der Herr der, a Gebräus und Geliarem. From the street there, he can hear a commotion and a noise. Wie stürmisch Wasser, like a stormy water, was hat sich angeschlagen in große Steine, like a big river that is beating against large rocks. Die Lavaye is der Gangen zu Shlomo Kissen's Haif, und sich aufgestellt. The funeral has reached Shlomo Kissen's yard and has stopped. Der Lärm wird hecher. The commotion gets louder. Ungeschwollener, even more swollen, und platzt in a Geschrei, and it breaks into a scream. Da weiter! This is where he lives. Der Mörder von der Aguna, the murderer of the Aguna. Im selben Augenblick zertrug sich eine scharfe, freiliche Klingerei. In that same blink of an eye, a sharp, happy uh, uh, clang uh, carries itself. Und a Bruchstein fliegt rein in Cheder. And um, a paving stone flies into the room in einem mit der zersplitterten Glas, together with breaking glass. Reb Levi geht zurück in Vorderstube. Reb Levi goes back to the front room, tut on dem Pelz, puts on his coat, fur coat, mit die breite futterne Klappes that has the broad uh, 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 fur. Um,
It's
uh,
lapel.
it's lapel. Okay, yeah, I don't have that word here. Okay, lapels. Tut on das rabbinische Streimel. He puts on his rabbinic fur hat auf der hoiche yarmulke, over his tall yarmulke. Und lässt sich Pamela rausgehen, and he lets himself slowly go out. Die Hand verlegt dahinter, with his hands behind his back. Wie wollte Shabbos bei Tag gegangen zu Mincha, as if it were in the afternoon of Shabbos, walking to Mincha, the afternoon prayers. We're on the next page. Bleibt stehen auf an untersten Treppel. He remains standing on the bottom step und guckt zurück, aruf, zu der Tür von seinem Bestenstub. And he looks back up to the door of his Bestenstub, the room where he holds rabbinic court. Wo noch einer wollte bedarft herabkommen, as if someone else was still supposed to come down. Im dacht sich Reus, als in wenigste Puste Chadorim is emetze geblieben. It seems to him that in the inside empty rooms, someone has remained. Aber weiß nicht, dort ist geblieben seine Tochter Zirle oder allein. But he doesn't know whether the person who's remaining there is his daughter Zirle or whether it's he himself. Reb Levi geht hastig a Spann durch ein Teuer in Reißen. Hastily, Reb Levi strides through the gate out into the street. Okay, David, it's your turn.
Dank. Reis gekocht voor Reis.
Ausgeruckt.
Reis geroekt. Dank. Reis geroekt voor Reis van der ganzer Mincha.
Machne.
I say Machnes. Ich darf mein brilliant. Looking, moving out for moving out from the entire crowd, the Machne, steht a heucher Jung mit a gestupelt Ponem, on kasokliche Eugen. So looking out there, there's this young man who has this
Pockmarked.
yeah, gestuped, pockmarked face, and these cross-eyed, his eyes are not lined up, I guess. Kasokliche Eugen. Der Jung halt in der Hand a Steen und guckt mit a verschmuret Egel von unter sein ledernem Taschek zum Fenster in der Heck. The young man takes a stone in his hand and looks with like a squinted eye from under his leather visor to the window up on high, up there in their Hague, upper window. Gorod, while is a kasoka, just as he is like maybe cross-eyed. Will weisen, wie gut zielt und trefft. He wants to show, even though maybe his eyes aren't right, he wants to show how well he can aim and shoot. Zielt. Ein Fensterscheibe hat schon zerbrochen und jetzt vermisst sich auf ein zweiten Fenster. So he's already broken one window pane, and now he is competing. He's challenging himself, I guess, to do a second one, a zweiten Fenster. Hinter ihm stehen breite Jungen mit den Teutenkasten auf der Achsel. Behind him, standing these wide young breite Jungen, I guess big boys, I guess, with the Teuten,
Casket.
yeah, casket, the death box, the casket, yeah, casket, on the shoulder, on the shoulders. Und warum sie und euch von hinten stupen sich die Begleiter. And around them and from behind, kind of push forward the people who accompanied them. The das ganze Bargika Gessel is verfletzt mit Menschen. The entire, I guess, Bargika, like a stony little street, is flooded, is filled with people.
I think it means hilly.
Hilly.
My impression is that there are various hills, and he lives at the
Yeah,
top of a
yeah,
hill.
that sounds better. Like the up and down streets, yeah. Bargika, vergleich. Der Eulen, der seht im Rov und zertrogt sich durch der sortente Gemurmel. Der Eulen, der seht. The public, the people catch sight of the rabbi, and he's and he's I guess trying to trok sich durch. I mean, he's trying to, I guess, move through this
No, the subject is
motion.
Gemurmel.
Gemurmel. Oh, the Gemurmel. Oh yeah, that, yeah, thank you. That's it. Yeah, the Gemurmel is trying to this mumbling, the noise of the crowd, I guess, is coming
Angry. Der Zornte was angry.
Yeah, I guess coming. Yeah, the Ryan. Die Reihen von Fruchtverkäuferkes und Katzeftes geben sich zur Weg und zur Cavalia. The rows of fruit sellers and Katzeftes, I guess the wives of the butchers, I guess. I don't know how to translate that one. Given our Savig and its Cavalia, they're I guess they're oscillating back and forth, I guess. I don't know, waving, pushing back and forth through the crowd. Katsovim, Träger, und Markhändler. The butchers and the carriers, I guess the water carriers, the Träger.
Porters.
Porters, yeah, porters, that's a better word. Porters and the marketplace handler, business people, I guess, merchants, I guess. In hoge Stiefel, in high boots, und Volikas bis über die Knie, in high boots that and I guess Volikas that
those are felt boots.
Felt boots, I guess it's these boots go up to their knee. Und in lederne und wat tova kurtkes, in leather and
Vata is cotton.
Cotton, I guess coats, I guess, Kurt.
Yeah, short jackets.
Yeah, Kurt. Der langen sich a Rook voraus, wie finstere Chamaras. Hand over, I guess, they're moving like this black cloud, I guess, through the Finstere Kamaras. They're langen sich Haruk. I guess they're pushing through like a black cloud. Bali Maloches mit verheuscherte Penemer und Kremer mit ausgedriebelte Beardlach. Artisans or craftsmen with dark faces and shopkeepers with you know,
Unkempt.
unkept, but yeah, unkept beard. Will stehen a bissel weiter, which to stay a little bit further back. Stellen sich auf die Spitzfinger. Um, they're kind of like, I guess, on their Spitzfinger, kind of tiptoeing, I guess, trying to see through the crowd. Seeing euch die Cap über die Achsel, pulling up their heads over trying to over the shoulders from the Heuche um, uh, Steife Jungen. About the tall um steif. How would you translate a steif? A steife Jungen. They're
Well, rigid.
rigid, yeah, steif, yeah, stiff. Thank you. They're home der Hamon zerrät sich und zerlarmet sich als Hecker und Hecker. This crowd is um getting, it is getting more boisterous and loud as we move on. Od is der Rol von Sholem Kinsins Hoif. There he is, the rabbi of Shloima from Shloima's courtyard, Kissin's his courtyard. Od is der Mörder von der Aguna. There's the murderer of the Aguna. Reb Levi in Gessel by the Moyerwand, in the street by the I guess the brick wall, the Moyerwand,
It's the outside wall. Yeah.
by the outside wall, guckt mit aufgerissene Augen und verschlossene Lippen auf ein zerjöchete Hamon. He's looking with uh, um of the his eyes are, they're I guess, how do you say, popping out, or his eyes, and his pursed closed lips at this it's like,
Infuriated.
yeah, this yoish
Yeah.
yoish
Yusha is to be infuriated.
yeah, I guess, yeah, thank you. His infuriated crowd, sein Stein ausgegleicht, die breit gewachsene rötlich große Board. Right, all around red.
Yeah,
Sein
these are all
Stein.
nouns. His standing straight.
Is stehen ausgegleicht. That makes sense. His standing straight, and his breit gewachsene, is widely his big red, right, like, I don't know, red gray beard, or
Mhm.
I'm not sure what color that would
Yeah,
be. Yeah.
broad. Yeah.
Yeah, this big red broad beard. Sein rabbinisch Streimel was deckt nicht zu die ganze Yarmulke. His rabbinic hat, which doesn't cover the entire Yarmulke, I guess. Und sein nicht abrufen sich mit kein ein Wort. And und sein nicht abrufen sich. And it's not called out with one word. Wirkt often oilem.
Okay.
And I
Yeah.
guess affects this whole thing affects the public
Yeah,
without
sei
even
nicht
saying any word.
abrufen sich mit keinem Wort, and the fact that he does not even utter a single word.
This affects the public. They notice him. Yeah, that's how powerful he is. Der Laram geht zurück über in Gemurmel, und euch der Gemurmel starbt bislich weiß hoch. The commotion, the alarm, goes back into a more of a murmur, so things are settling down, and also this murmur, the crowd's murmuring is also settling down, little by little. Olivieren Schwiegen, so everyone gets quiet now. Der Heuker gestumpelte Jung mitten Stein in der Hand warft a kremlichen Häusigblick auf der stumm gewordene Machne. So that young kid with the stone in his hand throws a krumm there's like a crooked glance, a crooked, contemptuous glance at the now quiet, the crowd that got quiet. Ir Gitzik Aruksu Su Reb Levin, Levin, uh, um, Levin. So he makes a movement back towards Levy, Mr. Levy. Yeah. Should we go a bisschen weiter, or maybe someone else wants to read?
Well, read at least one more
Maybe,
line.
yeah. Du bist es der Rov von Shlomo Kissens Hof. Are you the rabbi of Shlomo's courtyard from his?
And notice he's speaking in the do form.
Oh, do yeah, you're right. He's
So it's contemptuous.
An Eugenblick guckt him Reb Levi on. He gives him a glance, Reb Levi, verwunderte, kind of insulted.
No,
Gelebt nicht.
no, verwunderter in
I'm
amazement, I think.
wondering. Well, yeah, it's a surprise, not wounded. Yeah, one. Yeah. Gelebt nicht als a jiddischer junger Mann soll zu ihm so reden. Yeah, no, because yeah, he's a little bit. He notices the Dutzen that talking to me do too. That why are you talking to me this way? Nor bald geht sich sein Ponem zu Finkel. Wie Sheater Cooper. So, but soon his face gives a little sparkle, like a Finkel, like polished copper. Die Augen sinken sich on und sein Bord mit die Wonses flackert. The eyes, his eyes are beginning to are coming to life, and his board with the little mustache is flackering a what is I guess moves or flames. I don't know how to.
It becomes inflamed. Yeah.
He gets inflamed. I don't know. His beard is.
Yeah, these are words
beard.
of words of fire. Zinten sich on and
Oh, yeah.
flackeren.
Yeah, yes, it makes sense. Yeah, he's not just in getting light; they're igniting, and his beard
Igniting,
is
exactly.
starting to flame move like a flame. Okay, yeah, that's good. Shagets, zu wem redst also you Shagets, you little scoundrel, I guess. To whom are you speaking like this? Zu gewaltet ihr sich und macht hastige Bewegung mit der rechter Hand, and he's forcing himself to gewaltet. He forcefully makes a quick movement with the right hand.
Now, zu gewaltet, he gets angry. He says in anger.
Macht mit dem Gassenjung Frask zu tun auf in Parza. He guess he's getting ready with his right hand to give him a punch in the face. The parts of the street kid. Nor der Jung hat schon Reb Levin ungehabt bei beide Ohrens, trägt him to der Wand und lacht. So, but the boy, has already taken Mr. Levy in both arms and pushes him to the wall and laughs. Ich kavasha dich via gezehrte Apple. I'm gonna flatten you, squish you like a rotten, an overripe gezehrte apple, like an apple that's soft because it's overripe.
Yeah, gezehrt usually means pickled.
Oh, pickled. Oh, okay, pickled. Like a soured apple. Like, yeah, pickled. Like a pickled apple. Yeah. The Nose Hamita und der Eulen beglegte legen vergapete. The something of the women of the bed.
No se hamita, the carriers of the coffin.
Oh, the mita. Yeah, the mita is not this egg bed. It's the bed that you get, the coffin, the thing you lie in when after the body is dead. Yes, the mita. The carriers of the coffin, when the oil and begleiter bleiben vergapete, Reb Levi, Reb Levi's Geschrei und sein
Now, you
nicht.
haven't translated
Oh, yeah,
Bleiben Vergapete.
And the public, the accompanying public remain vergapetiv,
Staring.
staring. I guess they're gasping.
Uh,
Yeah.
Agape.
Agape, that's good. Yeah. Vergapetiv. Reb Levi's Geschrei und sein nicht geschrecken the Tumult die Jungen. So Rabbi Levi, his Mr. Levy's scream and his not sein nicht erschrecken sich, that's the so he's not, the young people are not
No, and the fact that he is not afraid.
being that he's not, yeah, he's not afraid. This, it's a tumult the Jungen. This has oh yeah, yeah. The
Confuses.
tumult. This it kind of agitates the young people. Yeah, the Jungen. So de heren sich bloß einziger abgerissener Keulus. Only one of the voices, I guess, from the commotion, only one voice is he focuses on. Two
Well,
M.
Einzige, several. Only
Einziger.
several.
Oh, several. Okay.
Several voices call out or are heard. Just a
Yeah.
few voices are still heard.
Yeah, a few voices said, to him sein Recht, der Lange, hand him over and do justice to him.
Yeah, der Lange means give him.
Give him.
Yeah, give him a punch.
Give him, not just like hand him, like der Lange, yeah, hand him something. In this case, a punch. Yeah,
yeah.
Do good with the punch. Yeah. Nein, ich will ihm besser reinwerfen in sein Fenster. I rather throw him. No, I will prefer to throw him into his window. Lachter Kasoka und nimmt on dem Rov by the Futterner Klappes. So the boy says, I want to throw him to the window, and the cross-eyed boy takes him by the lapels, wie Volt gegangen, weisen a Kunz aufzuheben, a mention, as if he would, he's going to demonstrate some sort of trick to lift up a man, und ihm a Worfton in der Heich wie a Gumeta Pilka. So, yeah, a Pilka. So he wants to, he's going to do this like some sort of feat that he could just like take a man up and throw him like some sort of like game ball, a rubber ball.
No, Gumina is rubber, like a rubber ball.
Yeah, rubber ball. Like I'm thinking of like basketball or something or like that. And he wants to throw him up in the air just as easy as it is a game ball, a rubber ball. Yeah. Over von zwischen Eulen spart sich a Royce klein wuchsig Jidel in a langen abgetrogenem rabbinischem Malbusch. So, but from between the public, kind of walks out a small stature, wuchsig, small little Jewish boy, I guess, person.
Not a boy, you'll see.
Yeah, boy. It's like in a long.
It's not a boy.
Not a boy, and in a long opgetrogenem, in a long. He's long. He's wearing this long rabbinical outfit. Und reißt sich herein zwischen Reb Levin und dem gestupelten.
Yeah, upgetrogen is worn out.
Upgetrogen. Yeah, thank you. Yeah, worn out rabbinical clothes, and throws himself between Reb Levi and this, this angry.
No, pockmarked.
Pockmarked. Gestupelte. Yeah, gestupelte. The guy who wants to punch him, the Schläger. Der Voiler Jung, was hat sich bis jetzt wie gespielt? Was hat sich bis jetzt wie gespielt? This kind of, I don't know, how would you do it? Carefree boy that up until now, but had now up until now played. Well, let's see, what is he playing? Wer Bays nicht auf Cam Elector becomes angry. Nicht auf Ken, not angry, not because of any laughter.
No, no. Uh, until then, it was as if he was just playing, but now he becomes angry in no laughing way.
Nicht auf, yeah, off nicht Ken Electors. This is no laughing matter now. Okay, got it. Yeah, off nicht Ken Elector. Good, good. Mit ein Hand stoopt zu Reb Levin. With one hand, he pushes to Levi, noch mehr zu der Wand, und mit der zweiten Hand geht Stoß weg dem zweiten Eden. So one hand, he's pushing him closer, grab Levi onto the wall, and he push another kid away with the other hand.
Not a kid. He
I'm sorry,
pushes the other person away.
The man, it's not a kid. Yeah, Yidden. The zweiten Yidden, the other Jew.
Yeah, the other person is most likely the Polotzker Dayan.
Yeah. Der Reb Levi schweigt und macht nicht kein Bewegung, sich zu befreien. So Levi is quiet, he's making no movement to get himself free, no effort to get free, nor der zweite gehabt wieder on dem Schläger bei der Lappe und schreit mit aller Keuches. But the second Jew, the second person, once again takes it takes the puncher, the kid who's going to punch the Schläger, by the lap or by the, I guess, the collar, and screams with all his strength, Jeden help, Jews, help me, you know. Ihr wird sich von der Avera keinmal nicht auskäufen. You will not, from this sin, this bad act, ever get away with this. Auskäufen?
You won't be able to buy your way out.
But, yeah, buy your way out.
Okay.
Yeah,
and a lapa is a paw. So he grabs him by the
lapa
paw.
Is a paw. Yeah, not a kalapa. Yeah, the actual paws, his paws on him. Ich bin der Polotzker Dayan. I am the Polotzker Dayan, the judge, yeah. Du, der Polotzker Dayan, die jungen mitten teuten Kasken auf der gebeugene Achsel, the young people with the casket on their, I guess they're bent over shoulders, wo stehen Noen zum Schläger, geben sich auf ihm a Ruk und Huka, these young people who are that are carrying, they're carrying the thing on their bent over shoulders, but they're standing near the puncher guy, the Schläger. He geben sich auf him. They give him a they push and exclaim to him. They rook and a rook and a hookah, I guess.
Yeah, hookah is a whoop or a shout.
A shout, yeah, shout, not an exclaim, a shout. Kamulia los op dem Rebin. I guess
ignoramus.
Kamulia, yeah, just leave the rabbi alone here. The Jung los op the Rabbonim. The young boy leaves both the rabbis. He leaves them, just gets away, leaves them. The one he's holding and the one he's fighting off. Trept op on eine Seite mit verkrimmt ponem und spät ois. Or speit ois. Spät. So he leaves both rabbis alone. He steps back to a side and with a farkrim, he's scrimped up face. He's making a face and spits out. Puh, sollt ihr werden. Pooey on you. Ich nehm sich on their krivde und sie riechen sich noch. He's taking, so he steps, gives him a spit, and I nehm sich on, I take his krivda. This is this bad thing.
No.
Injustice.
Nemen on a krivda means I take his part. I support him. So I take their I take their point of view
I
but
accept, ja,
sie
annehmen
breken
sie.
sich noch.
Yeah, I accept it. And they breken sich noch. And they break as I can kick him. Break their
Bricke is to kick, but breken sich is to refuse to behave.
okay, that's it. Yeah. He refused to behave. The alla in einem. Creek the hopa. No,
Nichpe, nichpe.
Nichbe. Allah, so he receives
No.
everything together. The nikba,
Yeah, may the apoplexy.
yeah. Um, Allah, he receives.
No, may the apoplexy get them all.
Allah in yeah, he's wishing he's a curse. He's
Yeah,
creek
it's a curse. Yeah.
to all Allah in Anam. Everyone together should have this terrible. Yeah, that's yeah. No, that's very good. Yeah. See, and in context, but what was he talking about? He's cursing them because
That's right. That's right. So
he's
the youngster who's been who wanted to beat up Reb Levi has now been pushed aside. The crowd says, "Hey, don't you recognize that's the guy who just came is the Polotsker Dayan?"
Mm-hmm.
And back off.